What's good, y'all? This is Dumbfoundead, and thanks for tuning into the Asia Rising Together benefit concert. We're just taking a little breather right now, and I'm here joined by RZA of the WuTang Clan, and of course, Sean Miyashiro, founder of 88 Rising. How you guys doing, man?
I'm sitting next to the legend, so I'm fine.
I'm sitting next to one of the smartest, coolest guys in our business, so I'm fine.
No, I appreciate you guys joining. I mean, I'm stoked to be here, obviously. For a lot of the people viewing right now, they might have seen you guys for the first time or seeing even RZA affiliated with 88 and doing something together. So what brings you guys together?
88 Rising, WuTang. We got a project together that's capturing the art of our time.
Yeah.
Natural, like you said, not like we wasn't saying, yo, let's get some peanut butter and jelly and make a sandwich. We didn't say that.
You know, I remember when we were just starting to hang out, and he brought us to a Shaolin. What is this, Shaolin studio?
Yeah, USA Shaolin Temple.
And it was funny because I thought we were gonna, I thought we were gonna get physical. It was like late at night, and all of us were there. Like the Higher Brothers were there. Ghostface came through, and we just ended up drinking.
Some good food, some good drinks.
Some good food and drink, and that was awesome. And then, I was like, look, I think it just started, everything, to your point, when it's natural, it's organic, it builds more beautifully. And it just started with the song, and then it moved to what would it be like to do something holistic and a project together, and what that would represent. Like us and you guys coming together.
And I think
to
that's
make
big.
something.
For
The
what
intersection.
You just said, what does that represent?
Black and Asian culture and this collision that's happening, because our cultures have been parallel as well as connected through a lot of course of our history here. You know what I mean? There's many cultures that's connected, but just us in particular. Our imagination is being infused with multi-cultures, and therefore it goes into the music.
It's a trip that we're even sitting here because as a kid going to the record store, listening to them speak to me through music and words and their experiences and painting pictures, I saw the name WuTang Clan, and I knew, I'm 12, but I knew that shit was like Asian, just like the way, the samples, the kung fu in there. It's like, this is speaking to me, the way that it infused appreciation and true knowledge. It felt like everything was seamless, it connected together, and it was part of who they are. That was really important to me, even without me knowing how important it was at the time.
It wasn't even just like you guys just like accepting the Asian culture. It was also kind of for us, like, you put us onto a bunch of stuff that we weren't familiar with, like classic Asian films, really, for this generation.
To see that it comes back out and it attracts not just my community, because I had the whole hood going WuTang, but then to go back and inspire the community, which gave me inspiration. It makes me feel good to know that, young men like yourselves are hearing it and feeling included, right? Because you are included. At the end of the day, Asian culture is infusing me as an artist, as a creator. I mean, how many times did I cut school to hang out in a movie theater to watch martial art triple features, you know what I mean? And so while some of my heroes could be Marlon Brando or Clint Eastwood, but the heroes that made me tingle is people like Gordon Liu.
And I find that so refreshing, especially how early on you guys, was so inspired by Asian culture. That cycle of influence in general. You being influenced by Asian culture and just vice versa, and us being influenced by you being influenced by Asian culture, just a never-ending cycle there.
I mean, you gotta nurture something that inspires you and try to find the root and foundation of it.
No, I love that, because we need a reminder a lot of times of that history, and I kind of wonder, like, what is this next step, right? Like, just right now in the present, how do we make people feel like we're in this together?
First of all, we gotta demystify ourselves. Thinking that we're different based on the misinformation of who and what we are. We need to understand more of each other so our communication could be purer, our delusions could be removed, and our common denominators can be more expressed with each other. Because at the end of the day, we probably have more common denominators than we know. Now, I live by what is called the 12 jewels, okay? And I'm gonna say those 12 jewels to you, And I think that every man, woman, and child deserve this. And if we all could understand that and keep that common denominator, I think that's a great place to start the foundation of the unification. Here are the 12 jewels. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We all need that. Freedom, justice, and equality. We all need that, right? Food, clothing, shelter, love, peace, and happiness, right? That's common. Now let's talk about them a little bit. I won't go too deep into it. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding should be self-explanatory, right? Freedom. What is freedom? Freedom must operate under a law of justice. What is freedom without justice? Because freedom without justice, I could just punch him in the face. But justice has to come. That's the reward and penalty for my actions. Right. So therefore, justice operates under the law of what? Equality. So now all men are what? Created and treated equal. Because of the freedom you have and the justice and now the equality. We could balance ourselves out. And equality means like, yo, we all start as a single cell. Right? So then once we got that part of life, right, that's social now. Well, of course, every man needs food. And food is not just a physical food. It should be also food for thought, right? Every man needs clothing to cover yourself, but also a cloak of righteousness, a cloak of goodness sometimes, you know what I mean? And shelter. If a man got his food, clothing, and shelter, man, he's going to be so satisfied, right? And love is something that, you know, should be unconditional, right? You could get it from each other. You could give it. If you ever been in love, how far would you walk to see that girl, or what would you go through, right? Or if you got a child, like what would you do to protect that? So love is a powerful thing, right? But what is love without peace? And peace is the absence of confusion. But if you are confused and you're in love, you still ain't going to have your what? Happiness. Because what is love without peace? You'll never reach happiness. And the lesson taught me one day, the meaning of happiness is total, complete satisfaction with yourself. Yeah. Now, if I'm satisfied with myself, I'm going to be okay with you. But if I'm dissatisfied with myself, now everything's going to fall apart and I'm looking at you. So those 12 jewels are important, bro.
That was fire. If everybody took a step towards that, beautiful things come out of it.
There's a lot of power in the individual. An individual can do a lot. You know, from the ground level on a one-to-one communication and replicating that further. I think that just needs to continue, as well as from a mass perspective, even with us as creatives in art, through art. Because when we do a project together, period, what does that mean? And people even in this generation might learn about WuTang and learn that there was this group that came from Staten Island and they opened their hearts and fully appreciated, not appropriated, appreciated.
Exactly.
Asian culture.
Of course, this collaboration is super important, but I definitely think we need like cultural translators like yourselves, you know, having these discussions.
I think that's what's exciting about this too, is that making art together, just even seeing that is an open door. You know, it's a gateway to further understanding.
And art, as you were saying, Sean, that's the injection that seems to work the most and seems to be the most powerful. And it's something that we have control of. Right. Right.
And I feel like that represents something big because coming together, I think it means a lot to a lot of kids out there.
I mean, you're 200% right with that. You know what I mean? I don't like to call you dumbfounded because you're so smart.
RZA, Sean, thank you guys for joining me in this conversation, really. I mean, this is legendary for me, you know what I mean? And I think it was much needed. And everyone out there, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the rest of the concerts for a good cause. Peace.